Blue Zones Project Umpqua acknowledges, honors, and respects the indigenous people of this region, the Umpqua people, on whose ancestral lands the office now stands. These include the Nahanku Odana, Cow Creek Takelma, and the Upper Umpqua peoples, who later became the Cow Creek Band of Umpqua Tribe of Indians and were incorporated into the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde. The Cow Creek tribal areas include the Cascade and Coast Ranges in southwestern Oregon, along with South Umpqua River, and its primary feeder stream, Cow Creek. This tribal area includes the entire Umpqua watershed and surrounding areas. The indigenous people of the Umpqua Valley never surrendered lands or resources to the United States, and there are still communities that are actively fighting for the preservation of sacred lands. Blue Zones Project Umpqua gratefully recognizes that the Umpqua Valley is made up of many diverse communities of indigenous people who continue to live, work, and thrive in these lands today. We invite you to join us in acknowledging all of the above as our shared responsibility to consider our roles in reconciliation. Thank you. So Jess, if you would like to just unshare the screen, we can enjoy seeing each other's faces here for a moment. And I just want to give a couple of shout outs to folks that wrote in the comments. Um, Way to go, Umpqua Valley. Thanks for your support, Sarah, who's taking attendance. No, I'm just kidding. I love that I can buy healthy snacks at our local convenience stores. Thank you, Xander. That's wonderful. Participating in UC Veg programs and some volunteering at Blue Zones Project. Helped us move. Oh, Mike, thank you so much. Mandy Hatfield, she's the OSU Extension co-chair of the school committee and part of the food policy committee. Dick has been involved in Built Environment Committee and really appreciates how this has moved things forward. It has brought new recognition of how built environment influences our health and also the economic business vitality of the community. Absolutely. I have a tiny farm called Rosemary Hill Gardens that we're getting started, and I'm also a writer. That's Cynthia, wonderful volunteer on engagement committee. We have our AmeriCorps. Shout out to our AmeriCorps, UC Veg and Blue Zones Project that introduced her to Blue Zones Project. Ooh, Jessie Hakakta, who's the relationship manager for Blue Zones Project Klamath Falls. Thank you so much for being here, Jessie. They were just became a Blue Zone certified community over there in Klamath Falls as well. Blue Zones Project has introduced me to new concepts of community health and well-being, and I now have some of my closest friends as colleagues or former colleagues. That's wonderful. She also does a land acknowledgement. She says they're on the land of the Klamath, Modoc, and Paiute peoples. I hope I pronounced that right. Big congrats to the Umpqua team and the Umpqua Valley. Thank you so much. And Cindy James, she says, I'm with Evergreen Family Medicine, started in the lifestyle nutrition course back with Dr. Ross. Love all the opportunities that Blue Zones Project has brought to the community. Thank you everyone for participating. They keep rolling in. Read those. Those just bring us so much joy to see the folks that are on the call today and what you've come to experience through the project. So basketball has its sixth man, right? And Blue Zones Project has our seventh man. We consider ourselves very fortunate to have him as an honorary member of the team and our esteemed steering committee chair. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Lance Colley, who's going to kick off our welcome and introduction.
So I hope, can you hear me now, Juliet?
Yeah.
Okay, because my headphones just went dead right before we started. So welcome everybody to our first virtual community celebration regarding Blue Zones Umpqua. My name's Lance Colley. I was born and raised here in Roseburg, and I've been a community advocate and volunteer most of my adult life. And as Juliet said, I'm currently the chair of the Blue Zones Steering Committee. So welcome to the Blue Zones Certification Celebration. Want to say certification is the culmination of many years of dedicated work on behalf of our local team, our volunteers, our supporters, our funders, and most of all, you, the community, who have embraced the Blue Zones program. Uh, you all remember the devastation that our community felt after the tragic events at UCC in October of 2015. In the aftermath of that tragedy, a broad cross section of community leaders gathered as the Community Healing and Recovery Group, the CHART team, to develop a roadmap to help our community not only heal and recover, but to prosper. And as difficult as that time was in our community came together likely like it has never done before. Almost exactly a year later, on October 11th, 2016, the first site visit with the Blue Zones Project national team visited Roseburg. We had an event out at Umpqua Community College where over 100 local community leaders came together to learn about Blue Zones Project and to support the effort to apply for Blue Zones demonstration community. Uh, it represented an incredibly diverse group of organizations, individuals, foundations, and we put together a team that ultimately led to applying for Blue Zone's demonstration project. Several months after that, we were selected as one of 3 communities in Oregon to be awarded the honor. It was a very competitive process. Initially, they had anticipated only selecting 1 community in Oregon. We were lucky enough to have that uh, application process expanded so that they did select 3 different communities, and we were very honored to be selected as one of those 3. That selection started us on this last 3-year journey to, as we're kind of referring it to now, to graduate from Blue Zone's demonstration community in 2017 to now a 2021 Blue Zone certified community. During that time, Douglas County's cumulative health score has moved us from 32nd in Oregon to 29th in Oregon. And we anticipate our community health score will continue to improve as we embrace the Blue Zones project programs. So thank you for coming to coming to our virtual event. It's an interesting opportunity to share a lot of what we've done, and we'll start that off by introducing Nick Butner, who has been with Blue Zones from the beginning.
The story of your community is really personal for me because with that baseline of traveling around the world, I had the opportunity to be part of that site visit in October 11th of 2016. I was able to meet Lance. I was able to meet Juliet and John. I was able to meet people from ODOT that became friends, invited me to come back and kayak with them around the community and your business leaders and nonprofits in your community. And what it was to me, and the reason that I fell in love with your community, is it was what a community is designed to do, to come together as a broader community and care about each other's health, to care about making, how do we come together as a community to make life a little bit easier and to put a focus on health. And that's exactly what your community did. I had an opportunity to come back and be a partner as you developed your blueprint and be a partner and lead the kickoff event when I was out there. And it was one of the first times where a full auditorium of people stood up at the end, raised their hand and said, I'm in, to come together, to work together around the health of your community. And over the past 3 years, you focused on how do you make a community, passing policies that make it easier for people to bike and walk, to make it easier to make a healthier food system where everybody has access to healthy foods and affordable and understand and can make it taste good, to look at policies around tobacco that creates family focused places where you can model those good behaviors. You partnered with organizations in your community to create healthier spaces when I go to work, or with your schools, both inside and outside, coming together as a community to add more sidewalks and safe routes to school grants that ended up making it easier for kids to get to school, or working with grocery stores and restaurants and corner stores in your downtown that I know had impact on people that live in your downtown area, dramatic impact. And lastly, to help create more purpose and better social connectivity in your community, to create more community pride. And over the last 3 years, you're the community. You guys did this. It's a community-led initiative where you created the blueprint, you created the plan, and you, with the help of the local team, ended up doing the work to transform it. And in a little bit, Terry and the rest of the team is going to share the impact of why this was important and why this matters to your community. But the work's not done. You know, these are generational problems that we have around health right now. And how do we continue to come together to build off of what you've done for the last 3 years to keep it going? There was a couple reports done in the last couple weeks, one by the Surgeon General, over a 100-page report that was really focused on talking to communities and talking to businesses to try to tell them how health and economies are intricately linked. That if we are to remain competitive as a community, that we need to understand that we need health, and we also need a cost-effective workforce that comes together with less behaviors. And I think COVID over the last year has also proved to us that at the end of the day, the people that have those underlying risks are at greater threat around their health. So how do we create environments where it's easy for everybody to be healthy, to make that healthy choice? And that's the future. And I know you guys are working on that, but tonight is about celebrating. Tonight is about going back and looking over the last 5 years or last 3 years at all the hard work you did, and share some stories as to why it mattered, to share some personal stories as well as some aggregated stories that make you the example, not only for the state of Oregon, but I'm going to tell you right now, for me, this is a story, your community story is a story that I'm going to tell as I speak Blue Zones across the United States and share the amazing work that you did. But with that, I want to hand it off to my partner, Terry Merritt Warden, from the Vice President of Operations at ShareCare, to talk a little bit about the certification and the impact that the community's had over the last couple of years. Terry?
Thank you, Nick. Gosh, it sure is my pleasure to be with you all tonight. And on behalf of Blue Zones Project at ShareCare and the central team, I'm joining you from Nashville, Tennessee tonight. But I do have roots in Oregon. I spent a good 7-8 years, a little bit north of you in Silverton. And I know what Roseburg has accomplished over these years because I saw it unfold in my eyes. And again, I haven't met many of you on the call today, but it's been just a pleasure with those that I have been able to visit when I have been back in the state of Oregon. So I really wish I was there in person. We normally would be. And tonight I'm going to very briefly share how Umpqua Valley met certification criteria. In fact, I can't believe I'm going to try to cover it in a couple of minutes versus the years of work that you've put into it. But for those of you who have been there since the beginning, you know that you put together the blueprint that Nick referred to, and we had targets that we wanted to achieve in that life radius of Umpqua Valley. Targets in the number of people we wanted to engage, in the places we wanted to engage, and the policies that we wanted to build capacity for and actually enact. And in reality, you guys surpassed all of our targets that we had initially projected in our strategy planning and in our blueprint. So congratulations to everybody that was involved in that level of engagement that we think hits the tipping point that then creates greater well-being throughout the community. You also achieved a minimum of 6 community metrics. Again, Nick highlighted a few of these. You have tried to impact food insecurity. You have tried to tackle youth, helping youth get to better weights. You have created a more vibrant and renewal in your downtown community. You also have created a number of more smoke-free areas and actually impacted youth tobacco use. So congratulations on all of those. And I think one of the most impressive is the amount of volunteerism that we saw in the Umpqua Valley. You were far superior to what we imagined. And that volunteerism is what we're creating in regards to purpose and also really impacting the projects that you feel are important to the community. The third criteria is actually showing actual improved well-being. And we have looked at that through the Share Care Community Well-Being Survey that we have measured since oh my gosh, I took us back almost a decade, since 2017. So we're really happy. Jess, if you could advance the slide. We were extremely impressed with the amount of progress that has been achieved on the well-being survey. In fact, we didn't even measure in 2020 because we were a little worried about the impact of COVID on the survey results. So we actually looked at the survey results only 2 years in, and compared to other parts of Oregon, Umpqua Valley really outperformed Oregon in 3 major health risks: nutrition, exercise, and life evaluation. Those risks are also, on an average, we saw, compared to Oregon, that Umpqua Valley decreased their overall risk factor profile by 4.6%. And this actually translates into what we think is measurable productivity and medical cost savings. Jess, if you could go to the next slide. We have a simulation model that was created and validated through the World Health Economic Forum. And when we look at the 11 key risk factors that contribute to medical cost and chronic disease, we are able to calculate what we think the impact based on those changes in risk factors are. And that 4.6% decrease in risk factors, we think projects to over 1.5 million value that's accrued through cost savings related to decreased utilization in healthcare costs and increased productivity because of people being able to actually go to work and not being impaired by the chronic conditions. And for those of you in healthcare, we translate that to what we call a per member or per person per year savings. And that $8.27 is really a gold standard in regards to achievement in just 2 years. And if we projected that out over a 10-year period, we think that's equivalent to over $65 million in projected savings, that just based on the changes that occurred in 2 years. So I can only imagine what might be achievable with your continued projection in regards to the great efforts that you've made in people's places and policy. So it is truly my pleasure tonight, on behalf of Share Care, the Blue Zones Project Central Team, Blue Zones LLC, to recognize you all and your community as a Blue Zone certified community. Truly an incredible, incredible effort, and congratulations. And we couldn't have done it without the community input, the leadership of the steering and leadership committees and the subcommittees, and the Blue Zones Project team. You know, I am so proud I used to call them Share Care employees, and now you guys are have embraced them as continued leaders in the community. So thank you so much for everything you. It truly is with great pride that we are with you tonight.
Our favorite highlights from the past 3 years and what we're most looking forward to as we transition into our next phase of the project. Let's take a quick look at our community impact. This video is an oldie, but still a goodie. Enjoy.
Blue Zones Project is transforming our surroundings in the Umpqua Valley, making healthy choices easier for all. We're growing fruits and vegetables in new spaces. We're discovering healthier food options at work, school, restaurants, and grocery stores. people are connecting with a new sense of purpose. And safely going places in a more active way. It's all linked to rising well-being and community pride.
I've noticed myself doing more and socializing more and putting myself out there more and eating healthier and doing these crazy things that are just, they weren't me before I met you guys. And I'm really coming into my own. Like, I feel like my own person. Life's lit up. I cry a little less and I laugh a little more. And it's very helpful. And I appreciate you guys for it.
Follow Blue Zones Project Umpqua on social media and keep up on the positive impact.
Hey everyone. Hi again. Juliet here. And I am live on location. I wanted to show you where our new office is. Some of you may have heard that we moved 2 doors down, to be precise. And normally we would invite you for a Friends at 5 or a virtual, an office warming, but for obvious reasons, we haven't been able to do that yet. So I want to just show you a little bit of what you'll eventually be able to join us and seeing and enjoying. We've got it all nice and decorated for tonight's event. Over here, we've got our new banner talking about our certification. And then we have a beautiful seal here that we'll be displaying for a while. Over here, we've got our shirt in the window and our signage. And come on in. I want to show you what you're going to see when you come stop by and visit us whenever that's allowed. Got our bikes over here, staying active as a team. Beautiful Blue Zone sign. Say hi, everyone. We've got mission control over here for tonight's event. There's Lance and Zenya and Nico. So to share a few of my favorite highlights from the last 3 years, obviously it's so difficult to choose. I think a big thing for me has been the expansion of our team. We have, in partnership with UC Veg and Umpqua Valley Farm to School, gotten 2 AmeriCorps members, a community garden coordinator and a school garden coordinator. We also have Nico, our community health educator. So that puts us at 6 people on our team, plus our 7th man, Lance, of course. So that's very exciting and a wonderful partnership with other community organizations. Favorite highlight from the past 3 years, we're pretty proud of having 1,200 people come out to UCC's Jacoby Auditorium to see Dr. Michael Greger, along with our partners, UC Veg and the UCC's nursing department. That was a huge highlight for us and was a pretty outstanding thing to be able to do in this small community, and was really a highlight on his tour across the United States. So that was one. I think another one for me is always just reflecting on some of the work we've done with our Latino and Spanish speaking community. We had our Spanish cooking class that launched our first Spanish speaking potluck moai that took place at St. Joe's. And that's just a great segue, I think, into something that I'm really looking forward to going into the next phase of work. In our blueprint, due to our community input, we've really seen even more emphasis put on our health, equity, diversity, and inclusion work, and are just really looking forward to diving even deeper into that work over the next 3 years. You can see we've been working on a land acknowledgement, translating our materials and making sure that they're always available. Our programs are available in Spanish as much as possible. And then I just love being able to support the AmeriCorps on our teams. They've been such a wonderful addition, bringing fresh energy and new perspective and really advancing the work in their various areas. So let's look a little bit into some of our other work across various sectors, starting with food retail. Turning it over to you, Nico.
Welcome to Blue Zone's Project Umpqua, where approved grocery stores are making the healthy choice the easy choice.
I expect that our county is going to be much healthier and much happier in the near future because we'll be eating better and we'll be moving more. My family and I really like Sherm's because it's a lot easier to find the healthy choices that we're looking for.
Blue Zone's Project approved grocery stores are making it easy for people to make the choice that they need to improve their health. They've installed well-being information stations that have recipes and health tips. They're clearly labeling their vegetables, beans, whole grains, and produce.
I shop at Sherm's because there's lots of produce, it's fresh, and I like eating healthy and feeding my family good meals.
By implementing these changes, we've seen an additional 10,000 pounds of produce sold, as well as an increase in water sales. People will impulse buy, so we've tried to help that by putting healthy food and snacks and water at the check stand that they can grab on the way out.
Blue Zone's Project approved grocery stores are making it easier to eat wisely in the Umpqua Valley so that we can all live longer better.
Thank you, Nico. So John, our Strategic Partnership Director, is live on location. John, turning it over to you.
Hello, everybody. What a great evening we're having. We're here at Sherm's and we are enjoying the nice air outside this wonderful place. And like the team has been sharing, there's so much for us to be grateful for. We had over 70 organizations over the past 3 years engaged in the Blue Zones Project, and 19 of our top 20 work sites over the past 3 years did something around Blue Zones Project. And I'm here with John, who's the manager of Sherm's, who you saw in the video.
Hey, everybody.
And we are, we're just here to say thank you, but also give a little snapshot of some of the highlights that have happened here in grocery stores. You saw in the video, I think it was about 10,000 pounds of additional produce. Actually, that was from a year and a half ago. Now we're probably double that. And Sherm's has always been, you guys have always been a great community partner. You guys have always been doing great stuff. But to add on to it, that they've been labeling their healthy food items, they put in information kiosks, they put in Blue Zones information stands and healthy checkout lanes. Like all of this has made them even stand out more. So I don't know if you want to share anything, John.
It's been a great ride. It's been a great time doing this. Good to see people trying to eat healthier. Love to see people come in here.
Yes, come in, eat your veggies. We've been doing this not just at grocery stores, but at restaurants. We've been lucky enough for restaurants to see increased food sales, and work sites have not only implemented healthy snack stations, but they put in environmental changes like sit-stand desks, downshift rooms, and they've started implementing leadership training around well-being. We've got over a dozen well-being wellness committees started, and that's something we're really excited about. So thank you to everybody who chipped in, and I look forward to seeing you at Sherm's or one of the other great organizations that have done so much over the past 3 years to help the community.
Stay safe. Is that it?
Welcome to Blue Zone's Project Umpqua.
Blue Zone Project approved.
Blue Zone's Project approved restaurants are providing a great service to the community by making it easier for people to make healthy choices when they go out to eat.
So we realize now that there is a demand for healthier options, and we really feel good about the fact that we're meeting those demands.
I know I'm going to get great service. I'm going to get healthy food. They care about me. They care about the community.
We know that we are supporting the well-being of our community, and for that, we're really thankful.
We ordered 2 times more produce.
Blue Zone's inspired menu items are some of the best selling items on our menu. we are able to support the well-being of our current customer base as we attract new customers.
When we started working with the Blue Zone Project, the first thing we noticed was a measurable difference in sales. They provided us with the opportunity to present food the way that we wanted to, in a healthy way. But they also help us come up with ideas to better the community.
Blue Zones influence us to keep producing the sourdough crust as a more natural way of making pizzas. It is a sourdough starter we kept alive for 3 years. We got it from a guy that had it for 100 years before us.
Blue Zones Project approved restaurants are making it easier to eat wisely in the Umpqua Valley so that we can all live longer, better.
Right. Thank you to John Demoff and Job Robertson. Gotta love Sherms and love seeing those restaurants. What a great time to support our Blue Zones Project approved restaurants. Jess, our executive director, will share about her favorite highlights and what she's most looking forward to. Turning it over to you, Jess.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Honestly, when the team talked about picking a favorite memory from the last 4 years, it was so hard for me to choose. There's been so much great work done in this community that we're extremely proud of, as you're hearing about tonight. My role specifically has been focused on policy, food policy, built environment, and tobacco. And I think policy is one of the most powerful tools out there for making long lasting change for future generations. But sometimes you don't see that change overnight. Sometimes you don't see it for several years down the road. But we've had the privilege of working on some really special short term, tangible projects that have sprung to life. Making a real physical difference and are exciting to see. And one of those, you can see pictures behind me, is the Gateway Community Garden that we started working on a little over 3 years ago. And I would have loved to have been out there tonight, but there wouldn't have been much to show. It's pretty dark outside. So you'll have to enjoy some of these pictures right behind me. But this is such a great example of a community rallying together to make a physical transformation, really at the crossroads of built environment and food policy. So if you drive south on Stevens, you will reach the historic Mill Pine neighborhood, and that's really the gateway to downtown Southeast Roseburg. And this neighborhood is very special. They've expressed a real desire to access more fresh produce. They're sitting right in the middle of a food desert. It's not easy for them to access a full service grocery store nearby. And so they expressed a real interest to have more gardening, fresh produce opportunities there. And so this concept really was a true partnership that sprung up about how you can blend built environment and food policy together. Like I mentioned, it was all about creating a sense of place in a neighborhood, a sense of beautification in that area, and addressing a health concern at the same time. So this was a fun one too, because we had so many partners working together to make this possible. The city of Roseburg allowing a garden site on city land. We worked with the Service Neighborhood Association in that area to serve as the operational partner along with NeighborWorks. We had 2 Boy Scouts that took on the garden build as their Eagle Scout project with hundreds, almost a little over 100 volunteers that came out on these different work days. And we were able to partner with UC Veg to bring in a community garden coordinator, AmeriCorps member, to support with the operations and volunteer recruitment for this garden to launch last October. And there's spots available. So I'll do a little plug if you're interested for signing up. But I think this story is a true example of how a community can rally around a project and the new relationships that are formed to make something like this a reality. And I think as I look forward to what's ahead for Blue Zones Project, that is really what I'm the most excited about, is the relationships. Working with so many different people in the community that I've had the chance to meet as part of this job from all walks of life, and finding solutions together has been really rewarding for me. So I look forward to building on those in our phase 2 of our work and creating really fun, exciting, innovative, brand new relationships as well. So thank you for giving me a few minutes to share today. I'll turn it back over to you, Juliet.
All right. Thank you, Jess. Hey, I just wanted to ask, are y'all having fun? Because I just love the positive energy that's in the chat right now. I just think this is a great way to spend an evening, and there's really nowhere else I'd rather be than right here with you all tonight. Thank you for taking the time to be with us and celebrate. Keep it up in the chat. I love seeing what people's favorite restaurants are, the grocery stores that are Blue Zones project approved, what you've noticed as far as changes there. So keep it up. People across the community have been touched by this work, right? We've been able to capture a few of these personal transformational stories to share with you today. So we're going to go ahead and dive into some of those. Hit it, Nico.
For probably about 10 years, I knew my weight was a problem. And really, when the pandemic hit, it created a really bad place for me and any efforts. In fact, I think that I was at the heaviest I'd ever been probably about a month into when we started experiencing the lockdowns. And I just found myself getting out of bed. I was working from home. I'm still working from home, and now I have an office. But my computer was right next to my bed, and, which was a bad place for it. And so I'd just kind of roll out of bed, work, eat while working. So Pete gave me this wonderful opportunity to go on this trip in Idaho. They had a 240-pound weight limit because it was on horseback. So I ended up having to look at this goal because at the time I was over 320 pounds. And I had about 6 months. It was amazing because Pete was massively supportive. My wife got on board, which to me was, once that happened, it started making it obtainable. When my wife was on board, and then friends and family started really, I was impressed with how supportive everybody was. My friend Dave, he really helped me with the cardio element and the exercise, and he kept me, I want to say he helped keep me healthy because I'm actually a gung-ho person, and my weight was starting to keep me from that. So when I started losing weight, of course, I'm like, man, I'm really gonna push my morning exercise. And he really cautioned me against it. He said, look, man, he goes, you're gonna put so much pressure on your joints. He goes, just take it easy. And he worked with me to get my metabolism up and get on a good regimen so that I could safely exercise and burn calories and maintain my weight loss objectives. Because I was getting up at 4:45 just so that I could get my exercise in. And it was great when, you know, a lot of guys, you know, they hit me up on Microsoft Teams in the morning, like, hey, how'd the run go? You know, one of my buddies, my buddy David, was helping me with the workout stuff. Sometimes he would get up just to call me on my run, because he knew I had my AirPods in when I'm out, you know, out hitting the streets. And but he'd just call me and say, hey, how are you doing this morning? How's, you know, are you still on track? I mean, and that's the kind of stuff that really helps you kind of push through some of the tough days. What was really great about the Blue Zone side of the initiative was that it kind of started me on some of these good habits. One of the things was that move naturally, and that really caught my attention. I remember the first time I read that because I sit at a desk, and so it's like, wow. And there's actually I remember an episode of The Office where Stanley's like got like a ream of paper, and he's like doing leg exercises under the desk while they're doing their weight loss challenge. And that instantly came to mind, like, what am I gonna do, sit at my desk? But when we were still working at the office, a lot of us would walk on our lunches. And so we'd pack a lunch, which was great because it's hard to eat healthy when you eat out. But what I found myself doing more and more is just silly stuff. So at work, we park away, so you have to walk. Now, it kind of drives my wife crazy. She was on board, but some of it, but like at the grocery store, and that's been one of the big things for me, is just changing little things like that. The sense of community is also, I think, really important. I'm a member of a local Christian church, and that's a lot of people. I had a lot of support from a lot of people there that were sort of monitoring my progress, which was great. And then of course family and friends. Being healthy for my kids, being healthy to do things I like to do. Well, now when I play with my kids, I don't get winded, we just go play. But when people say things like, man, you've really inspired me to try to start losing weight or get in shape or be more active, it really became powerful. And so as it really keeps me motivated to maintain and manage and keep eating healthy. And that 80% rule is a big deal because I had to really retrain my appetite. I was a high school athlete. I ate so much when I was in high school. It was, sometimes I just think back, it's almost unfathomable how many calories a day I would consume. Some days were easy and some days were not. So some days were frustrating. When you step on a scale every day, there are days that you really, man, you felt great because you just kicked it in the butt. And there were other days when it was like, man, I thought for sure I'd lose like 0.1 pounds, So yeah, just really, it helps when you have that big sort of support group behind you. It's a big deal, and that's what helped me get through it.
Just love seeing those testimonies, and we'll have more for you. We're going to show a few this evening. We'll have more posted on our social media, on our YouTube page coming up, because that's really the real deal right there. Want to share that this work really would not have happened without leadership funding from Cambia Health Foundation, brought to Oregon by Oregon Healthy Estate. I'd like to invite Sarah Foster from Oregon Healthy Estate to share a few remarks.
Well, first of all, I'm going to try not to tear up after all of those incredible stories. And while I was watching, I put this wonderful background. I think this is the last time I was in the Umpqua Valley. I took this picture. And so I'm really sad not to be there tonight, but hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. Well, thanks again for inviting me to participate in this celebration event. Oregon Healthy Estate launched in 2014, and we had a very bold goal of becoming the healthiest state in the nation by 2020. When we started this effort, we ranked 31st. So we had a really long way to go. And we know that in order to do this, we had to support communities because you have the solutions to make it happen. So this is why we chose to bring the Blue Zones Project framework as a model of change. And it's really inspiring to see you all lean into the framework with your own community wisdom and accomplish so much since the program launched in 2017. With the work of our 4 Blue Zone communities and countless other efforts across the state, we are now 5th in the nation for well-being, which is, I don't take all the credit for it, but it's very exciting. And I think you should pat yourself on the back for helping lift our state ranking. I've been so impressed by your community's ability to come together and develop a shared vision. And that vision has already paid dividends. I mean, the incredible stories and videos that I've seen, it will continue to pay dividends for years to come. I really just can't wait to see what you all do next. So just congratulations on achieving this incredible milestone. As soon as I can come safely to your community, I'm going to get in my car and drive and eat every single Blue Zones Project meal and visit every single site. So I cannot wait to celebrate with you all in person. So thanks. And I see Nick's coming with me. So Nick and I are going to do a tour of the Umpqua Valley together. So we cannot wait. Congratulations. I just am beaming with joy for all of you. And I will turn it back over to you, Juliet.
It's great to have you here with us this evening, Sarah. Thank you. We wish that you and the rest of the Central team and all of you could be with us in person tonight. Grateful that we're here together, at least virtually. Let's take a look at a few more personal well-being transformations.
When I first heard about Blue Zones in 2017, I mean, I'm a media guy, I'm a skeptic. I'm like, this can't be that good. There's got to be holes in this. Around the same time, I had been turned down for a really routine surgery because the doctor said I might not make it because my blood pressure was off the charts and I had so many other things. And it was really slowly kind of started to sink in a bit that there might be something here. So I started very slowly over 3 years changing my diet, slowly getting more exercise, especially really that got ramped up when COVID-19 hit and there were a lot of things that I normally did in this town that weren't happening. And so I took that time and went out on long walks, 5, 10, 15, up to 26-mile walks. And ended up ultimately over the last 3 years losing 75 pounds and going from extra large to medium. It's not overdoing it to say that following the Blue Zones concepts is probably the most radical shift in my life. I'm on board, I'm in deep, I'm a full believer.
Oh, hi, Sarah.
When we started the Blue Zones at Evergreen, I was in a really bad place, mentally and physically. I wasn't taking care of myself, wasn't eating right, wasn't very active. And then so we started hearing a little bit about Blue Zones through the different departments here. Evergreen really kicked off, use the stairs. We had a few moais. We did a plant slant moai. We had a walking moai. So I started just by walking in the park every day. We had a group of us. It was really casual. There was 5 to 6. We kind of bonded as we walked. And then it branched into the plant slant moai where we brought different plant-based dishes. And it was just kind of fun to experiment with the different pillars of the Blue Zones. I actually lost 70 pounds by just including vegetables in my meals every day, and then I tried meatless Mondays a couple of times, and then just being active throughout the day, walking to the furthest drinking fountain instead of the one closest, and just really taking on different lifestyle techniques to keep the momentum going. So I started with the more healthy lifestyle kind of stuff, and then once I kind of built good habits out of that, I was actually looking for a faith-based organization to kind of get invested to, because that was one of the pillars of Blue Zones. And I actually found a really great non-denominational church. I got baptized, I started attending a life group, and now I'm friends with a whole bunch of different ladies all throughout the age spectrum. So it just has brought a lot of enrichment into my life. And it started with something super simple like walking through the park every day.
Stories like Brianna's, Kyle's, Scott's, and so many others feed and energize us to keep doing this work. We hope that you feel inspired and that we can continue to work together to make this community an even better place to live, work, learn, play, and pray. Nico, let's hear about some of our special activities that are launching with this celebration.
Okay, hi everybody. Please forgive my hair. I was literally hanging out of a car earlier filming something for celebration, so that's why it is windblown, as we like to say. Yeah, but the first thing I want to talk about real quick is the restaurant passport program that we are launching again. So basically, if you go to a restaurant and you get one of these passports, you can get a stamp from them if you order a Blue Zones inspired meal, and you will also get a t-shirt voucher, and that's a free Blue Zones Project t-shirt. And then once you get all of your stamps on this, you will be entered in for a prize drawing, and we love doing prize drawings. And the other thing that's launching, we will be doing one of these a day, is we are doing like a mini geocache item. Oh, we're sharing a screen now. Okay. We'll do a mini geocache item. So within these things, there will be prizes, like we have gift certificates to all of the Blue Zones approved restaurants. And to find them, each day there will be a clue posted on the Blue Zones Project Facebook page, and you'd find that clue, you solve it, you go and find the little water bottle, post a picture with it on Facebook, and you'll be entered to win another prize on top of the prize that you get inside of this, which is pretty cool in my opinion. I'm just trying to go a little bit quick so we don't run too far over. And the next thing I want to do is what everybody's been waiting for, is the Power 9 gift basket. I'm sure you saw the pictures all over Instagram and Facebook. It's pretty sweet, if I do say so myself. But the moment of truth, if everybody will give me a second, I will do the drawing, and hopefully they are still in attendance. Okay, moment of truth. Hopefully I don't butcher your name. Merritt Driscoll.
Ah, Merritt!
I,
Congratulations, Merritt! She's the executive director of Blue Zones Project Klamath Falls, Healthy Klamath. She's in the right time in the right place.
Thanks, guys.
I think this is rigged.
How we're gonna get this basket to you, not sure yet. Wonderful. I wish I could have won, but that's okay. Someone else got it, Merritt. We hope you enjoy. For that geocache and the restaurant program, good luck, everyone. Look for those clues on Facebook. Thank you so much, Nico. Turning it over to Lance to take us home.
Okay, so I don't have a lot left to say. I think the presentation kind of sells itself. I do want to thank all of you for joining us this evening. I also want to say a big thank you to our sponsors and partners that I hope you can all see on the screen now. I want to thank all of the volunteers who have served on our subcommittees, the steering committee, the original co-chairs of our steering committee who guided us through the first 2.5 years of this process. So really just thank you to all of you, and again a shout out to staff and our AmeriCorps have been fabulous. And I'm just going to say Nico's hair is looking like that because I don't have any, and I just wanted some hair to show on this video this evening. So anyway, thank you all so much for joining us. If you want any additional information about Blue Zones, obviously we've got an active Facebook page and website, and you can always get a hold of the team down here at the Blue Zones office. So thank you all for coming tonight. We really appreciate it. And again, can't say thank you enough to Terry and ShareCare, to Nick Butner, for the people who selected us originally to make this possible for our community. And wow, Sarah, the information on Oregon going from 31st to 5th in the nation from a health and wellness standpoint is just amazing. So thank you all.
Thanks for being here, everyone. Have a great night. We look forward to seeing you at future events.
Thank you.